To be a top driver, you should master the best practices for driving under hazardous or special circumstances. The first thing to do is a real no-brainer. Plan ahead. Review your route so you don't have to look at maps or GPS screens while driving and won't have to pull over. Check the latest weather forecasts as well as road conditions, detours, and mountainous sections to accurately gauge your travel time. Look up height and weight limitations. And be aware of any restrictions, especially if you're transporting hazardous materials. You'll avoid surprises, not to mention the mistakes you might make when pressed for time. When traveling on unfamiliar roadway, you may miss a turn or exit. If so, don't suddenly change lanes or take shortcuts, which can put others in danger. Instead, keep driving until you find a safe way to change direction. Whether or not you could foresee what lies ahead, you will invariably encounter some risky circumstances. The following are best practices to put in your safe driver's toolbox. Pay attention to your speed and be ready to make adjustments. FMCSA gives the following examples of when you could easily find yourself driving too fast. Wet roadways, rain, snow, or ice, reduced visibility, fog, uneven roads, construction zones, curves, intersections, gravel roads, and heavy traffic. The danger of being in a fatal accident when driving too fast under these conditions is significant. In fact, FMCSA regulations state that you must use extreme caution when operating a vehicle under hazardous conditions, and should cease operation when it is not possible to do so safely. Wondering what speed to drive in adverse weather? FMCSA recommends slowing down to 1/3 of your regular speed on wet roads, and 1/2 or more on snow-packed roads. You'll need to be especially careful under icy conditions, driving slowly and pulling off the road when you can't safely control your vehicle. Negotiating curves can also be hazardous, as 40% of deaths related to speeding occur on curves. You should slow down more than what's posted on curve warning signs, as these are meant for passenger vehicles. CMVs have a higher center of gravity, which creates a greater risk for tipping over or losing control. Plus, if you have to brake in the middle of a curve, your wheels can lock up and you'll skid. You should treat entrance and exit ramps similarly. Speed is also an important factor when you have a loaded trailer. Loaded trailers are 10 times more likely to roll over. They require 20 to 40% more braking distance to come to a stop. And finally, you should be especially cautious when driving through work zones, where you may encounter a variety of hazards such as lane shifts, sudden stops, uneven road surfaces, and moving workers and equipment, not to mention confused drivers around you. Fatal crashes in work zones are much more likely to involve a CMV than in overall fatal crashes. Take special care to follow all work zone signs and signals, and be on the lookout for changing traffic patterns and vehicles entering your blind spots. Keep an eye on workers and flag crews too. In our last section, we'll look at steps you should take to ensure your vehicle is safe to drive and what you should do if you get into an accident.